Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk,
Taking
where we have the unfiltered, uncensored, uncomfortable,
Let's get down.
conversation.
Taking down.
All right.
Is that why people can't sound words out now? I used to be able to sound words out, and I hear some people reinterpret word, and I'll be like, "How did you look at that and get what?"
Everybody is taking that at face value, and you can't diagnose yourself. I'm sorry, that's not how this works. I don't understand.
Y'all, see, every time we get on one of these shows, we start talking about this stuff. Y'all learn me something because I didn't even know that wasn't a thing anymore.
And they gonna treat y'all like crap. No, we ain't going. And I would have picked the biggest game, like the Florida Classic or something. It would have been a real big game.
Yeah, sound. Did y'all lose your Bethune-Cookman? Did you guys lose your fam? Like, because in the southern region, the belief is that the prominent band in the MEAC was Florida A&M.
And he could have tried to have these conversations behind closed doors. I know how these African Americans at these HBCUs work. They will ignore you as long as they can. Let's be 100. Let's keep it a buck.
My comment was to the person who said that the SWAC as a whole was marching band. My comment was about the SWAC as a whole.
I'm so glad you said that. I want to pay you to come to Norfolk to say it. This coming from somebody who goes to a therapist once a week. Let me tell you something. This is they playing in our face. That's what they doing. Everything is mental health now.
Pray for me, okay? Pray for me.
Y'all better be treading water like hell, because I don't know how you gonna keep your head above it in this day and age, child.
I'm never getting past. We gotta practice every day.
That's crazy.
Because I guarantee that man that sat on Roland Martin ain't no more where the hell he sit at every day on BCU campus. The person that said that to you, they not dealing with this dumping ground. You know what I'm saying? So the real thing that Ed Reed did was make people uncomfortable. There is no change in comfort.
There ain't nobody on this chat or in that will ever come to this chat that's gonna pick Norfolk over Southern when it comes to drilling. I'm sorry. Let's do the poll.
You talking about right now in the year of our Lord 2023?
I told somebody to sound out a word and they looked at me like I had 3 heads. I still do that as an adult. If I see a word that I don't know, I sound it out.
No, I'm gonna mean it how I'm gonna say it. I ain't seen nothing there that make me want to jeopardize anything. Like 2 people said they got homework to do. So do I. And they was off Sunday and Saturday afternoon. So tell them to come in.
Right.
First of all, I don't want nobody calling me Miss Portia. It's a problem. It's a problem. If you got me as Miss Portia, you already.
They the reason I want to label bands stand bands, because ain't nobody down there motherfucking drilling. Let's be clear.
Hello? Sorry, what you say? You said nobody in the swag is drilling. Say that again.
Been the same.
They still would have been mad. Luke, I'm telling you, Julian, they still would have been mad. Black people do not like their laundry being exposed.
Right.
If y'all got something serious to say, go ahead, because I'm finna be petty Betty after these comments.
Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music, music education, and more. Let me introduce Portia. She's to my right. She got a whole video for herself.
Listen, I was so confused just now. I was like, why do I keep hearing my voice?
You wasn't even looking up though. You was just you was in the phone.
No, but I was watching it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, this is all me because I was confused at first. That's why I pulled it up.
Yeah. So we here wanted to say happy birthday to you, and you know that's the only way that we know how to do it is giving you a best of clip, 3 minutes of Portia. All right, so
I so appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So first of all, let me start by saying last week was one heck of a week. Actually, the last 2 weeks was one heck of a week. The first part of the week was me having massive congestion. The second part of the week was me not being able to talk. So that's why I was missing on last week. But Portia did an amazing, Portia and Quan and Chuck did an amazing job of holding it down, man. I appreciate y'all. I was back there trying to run the scenes as best I could, but I was in the bed the whole time, in and out of sleep. So, but yeah, man. So I appreciate y'all for holding that down during my absence. I thought you were gonna say something.
We had a good time. We had a good time.
Yeah, it was cool. So you know, I have no issues or nothing like that. Portia, what you got going on?
Is it still echo, y'all? They said it was echo on me.
I don't hear echo, but go ahead. Let me see what I can do to fix it.
I went to something in the water on Saturday. That was super dope. My birthday was Monday, and I graduate Saturday. So that's it.
Yeah, congratulations on the graduation. I think that's like super major right now. So that means that everybody on the panel has grad degrees at this point. We are all degreed, masters degreed. So I think that's a great thing. And then I saw those pictures from something in the water. I thought that was just amazing. I don't know, man. I didn't turn into an introvert, man. I don't like that many people around me like that.
But I never went like in the crowd. Like they have all of these. They have the main stage, and then they have a series of screens. So we just put our little blankets and stuff down in front of one of the screens. So we weren't ever like up in the crowd. So no. Because I don't want to do that either. But no, we just sat in front of one of the screens and saw everything. So that worked for me. It was a vibe.
That's dope. Yeah, it was. For me, it was just too many people. I was looking at it like, you know what I'm saying? And just rubbing shoulders with people and all that, I just can't. I don't know where you been. I don't know if you're sweaty or nasty or whatever. Please let us know if the echo has changed. I did some stuff, and if it didn't change, I'm gonna do one more thing and see if that helps. But y'all, bear with us. So I'm using a new program. All right. So in us using the new program, we're gonna have a couple of technical difficulties. I'm using a new program because of the fact that I just didn't like the last program. It was just giving me too many problems. It just seems like, between a couple of things happening, people would come in and they mics didn't work, then they had to go back out, and then it was just way too much. We're gonna try something different. Hopefully this works for us. If I can get rid of that echo, then we'll be in a good space, in a good place. So just keep letting us know.
Still there.
Yeah, I just seen it. So as soon as they said it, I hit another button with hopes that that took care of it. But yeah, just bear with us if it's still there. My bad. We working through it. All right. So this week has been a super interesting week, to say the least. First of all, we had some losses this week, specifically in the band community. Brother Andre Newsom, big time music educator, band director, Tennessee State University. Also at Whitehaven High School, man. So rest in peace to him. It was crazy when it ended up going past my timeline and on my timeline, just because of the fact that it was just like, it was everywhere. It was not one person that I knew that did not post something about him or post a picture of him. And then, if I'm not mistaken, they had just if I'm not mistaken, they had just had a Battle of the Bands or something like that, and he had left, or he had said something about meeting him in the parking lot. So that was, a big quote that a lot of people were, putting up about him more recently. And so rest in peace to him. He's touched a lot of lives and a lot of kids and a lot of students. And then in the Houston ISD community, a young brother by the name of Jerry Monroe passed away. Jerry Monroe was a person who was fighting a lot for HISD. He was a fighter. He really appreciated the community. And I'm not talking about his community. I'm talking about HISD, Houston Independent School District, and the students that were there and wanted better for them. And if I'm not mistaken, he was a bus driver. He may have been a bus driver, something to that degree. So rest in peace to him as well. Just a lot, like I said, going on. Jamie Foxx has finally put out a statement. I think he said he put out a statement thanking everybody for their prayers and stuff. So he's in the hospital. So let's also send our well wishes and stuff like that to Jamie Foxx, another musician, man, and just a pillar in the craft of the arts, period. So just wanted to put all those things out there. Portia, I don't know if you had any other things. Guys, I'm going to be honest. I don't hear, typically I would hear the echo. This is a situation where I don't hear the echo. So please let me know if it's a big echo, a loud echo. Is it, I know Brother Amos asked, do I have a second device on in the room? I do not. Hold on, let me make sure my actual, yeah. So no, my computer audio is not on. It's just everything is coming through my headphones. So, hopefully during the broadcast, we can, get that solved and get that fixed. But like I said, typically I usually hear it on my end. Are you saying is it me or is it Portia? So it's Portia. Portia, say something.
Hello.
Okay.
I don't have more than one thing on in here. It's me.
It's me, oh Lord. Standing in the need of prayer.
Let me see. Is that better? Is it better?
You asking me? I don't know. I don't hear it.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking them.
You asking them? Okay. You asking them? Okay. Sound like karaoke.
Is it better or worse? It's me. Okay. I didn't do anything different today. Is that better?
You didn't do anything different today? Do anything different today?
Nope. No, nothing different than any other day. Do I still have an echo? Yes, no, maybe.
They say the
same.
All right, so I don't know. We like I said, I can't hear it. I can hear it when you unmute though. but I may just be hearing.
And I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, let's try this. Hold up. All right, talk now.
Hello.
Again.
Hello.
Did that work, people? This is really weird that we sitting up here doing this on live.
Is it better?
I'm hoping that means that it's better. I hope the yes meant that it was better. This means that we got to start over, do the countdown, and do it all over again. Is this what we're saying?
I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what's wrong with it. Oh, what I'm doing wrong.
Look, the problem is, it's not even the fact that it's the echo. The problem is that we're waiting on the response of everybody else. So that I think
it's still there. You want me to leave and try to come back?
No,
I don't know if that'll help.
No.
Okay.
No, we just gonna rock with what we got. I'm sorry, y'all. We gonna try to make it work.
I do have headphones. I gotta go get them. I don't want to have the mufflers on. I only wear them to the gym.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would say that if, I guess for this, let's do this. Let's just go on with the show today. And this is just, hey guys, once again, bear with us. This is just the kinks that we're recognizing that we have to work out. All right. So in the future, we know Porsha need to wear her headphones. There we go. That solves all problems. Don't be trying to look for no headphones now. Ain't nothing we can do now. It is what it is. We gonna get it right. We gonna get it right. It's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. All right. But let's go ahead and get on with the show because we want to go ahead and knock it down. Also, I want to make sure I said Quan was with us tonight, but he had an emergency, so he did have to step out. So let's keep him and the situation in your prayers as we go through this particular situation. All right. So tonight. I'm going to be honest. I'm getting to the point, and this is no slight to anyone, but I just want to put that. I just want to put that out there. As honest as I possibly can. Everybody's trying to give you suggestions at the same time, but. I'm getting to the point to where I hear things and I want to say things, specifically to, when I'm watching these battles and when I'm watching these performances and things like that. One of the things that I know that we've had this conversation before, but one of the things that I start to get frustrated about is the fact that some people just don't like being told anything, and we have to decide the difference. Like we say that there's a difference between a criticism and a critique, right? But some people don't like either. And my thing is, when do we start getting so soft that we can't take a criticism or a critique? And so tonight was the day that I wanted to be able to start having that conversation and really getting down to the meat of it. So I'm going to just jump right into it. I'm going to ask the first question. I'm going to ask the first question and we're going to go ahead and rock. So the first question is, Smiths, what happened? Where did Porsha go? Has requiring men to be more in touch with their feelings made them more emotional to critique and criticism? I'll say that again. There we go. I'm telling you, I'm trying to work this thing out. Has requiring men to be more in touch with their feelings made them more emotional to critique and criticism? Porsha, go ahead, because you're the only one who can go ahead. Obviously.
We talking specifically about men?
In this particular, I mean, you can, if you want to go ahead and add the women's in there too, you can add the women's. You can do that. Yeah, we can throw them both in there.
I don't know that being emotionally aware or being in touch with your feelings makes you. What's the word that you use?
Which one? Oh, soft?
Yeah, I don't know that makes you soft. I don't feel like it came from that. So my answer to that is no. That is encouraging people not to bottle stuff up and to follow the culture's mantra of what happens here stays here. Men don't cry, don't be overly emotional, don't be the angry black woman. That's encouraging you to actually understand, get to know, and address maybe deficits and how you handle situations. But I don't know that getting in touch with your feelings or whatever is why people are soft. That's not what I attribute to that.
Okay, so before we even get into your rationale as to why that is, so the thing about it is, I just and me being me, and I sometimes think that I'm an old guy. I don't think I'm that old, but I sometimes think I'm an old guy, right? So like, I just remember a time in my life where that just wasn't a thing, right? Like being emotionally aware just wasn't a thing, I can only come from the perspective of who I am, which is a man, but it just wasn't something that was just a normal thing. And so it seemed to me, and this is where the question came from, it seemed to me that during the times in a day and age of being emotionally aware is also a time where I feel like men also couldn't take a criticism and a critique from one another, because now we're in touch with our emotional side and our feelings to the point to where you're hurting me, you're hurting my feelings because of X, Y, and Z. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. But I think the problem is when we started encouraging people. Still don't know that I feel like this is the root, but we encourage people to, and especially men, because less likely to do that, or more likely not to, show or display emotions, is that we also didn't convey how to handle, interpret, and express those, and as well as time and place. You can't just, now that you're in touch with these feelings, act out or say what you want to, or not be open to criticism, because the reality is that you're going to be critiqued in life. I don't know any job where there's not some kind of review or assessment. And I think that's why a lot of students that I see are struggling, because they're in touch with these emotions, but knowing how to utilize them, how to interpret them, and how to articulate them is not something that they know. Like, for example, when we were in the band, people we had checkoffs in the band room in front of everybody. That's how we knew who was good and who wasn't. And I'll never forget, they'll open those doors and us and Highlights will be dancing in the old band room. We checked off too. But now it's, you're embarrassing me. You're, you don't care about my feelings because I shouldn't have to do this in front of other people. And that's crazy, because what we failed to realize, at least in Norfolk State, and I said this last night, we had a band meeting, this is a class and that's an assessment. So if you're doing what you're supposed to, not be perfect, but there are certain things that you're supposed to know. There are certain things that you're going to be assessed on. And if you don't know them, you probably haven't done what you're supposed to. So I think when we started encouraging people to be more in touch with those feelings, we didn't convey the whole picture, as in how to handle these emotions, how to convey how things make you feel, And then time and place. Like a lot of when I think COVID made it worse, people don't know time and place for stuff. Like what's appropriate when and what's not. I'm sorry, mother lets you flip out and talk crazy when you feel the type of way at home, but you can't do that here. You know, because that's not preparing them for the real world. But that's just my opinion. Time and place is a big thing, and I think that's missing. But I don't know that I feel like that caused men, women, anybody to be soft.
Okay. So, and I hear everything you're saying. So the first thing, once again, bear with us. Y'all see I'm making edits as we go. So just bear with us, you know, trying to get it right, trying to set the mood. All right. But no, I definitely agree with you. And actually one of the questions is actually time and place. So we'll get to that in a second. And Amos, I actually agree with you too. You know, hey, Simon, you know, if you want to come in and Quan Place, you can. But I so what do you attribute it to? What would you attribute to, you know, what the thing that made, you know, men more emotional and to the point to where, or men and women more emotional to the point to where they can accept critique?
It's a couple of different things. I can speak for myself. My parents and their generation, this their fault. And not my parents particularly. And here's why I'm going to say that. A lot of that generation of people had really started to earn money, and they wanted to put their kids in better positions and give them more opportunities than they ever had. And I feel like in doing so, they wanted so bad to give their children more, that some of those lessons that are learned in struggle disappear. I also feel like in that same vein, we started giving people participation trophies. Because we didn't want to hurt that lady who want her child to have more opportunities, little feelings. I think those things in general. Now, my parents didn't play that. Yes, we're going to give you more than we had. I tell people all the time, Michael Jordan is the reason I went to college. My parents told me, as long as you got good grades, we'll buy you whatever shoes you want. Say less. Say less. So, and then I got comfortable, right? And I thought I was doing something. I was like, forget it. A bad set of 9 weeks grades came out. The trunk that I came to Norfolk State with, my mama locked up every pair of Jordans, every pair of name brand clothes in that trunk until the new grades came out. So they gave me the more, but those lessons were still in there. It had to be earned. And I think that piece, I'm telling you now, think people's mothers are so much more involved in college. They come to school, they don't know how to research stuff. They don't know. It's become more of, I'm going to do it for you because I want you to go further, instead of let me teach you how to do it so you'll know how to do it even after I'm gone. The mentality changed. And so that's what I feel like. Because when I tell you parents are involved, they are involved. We have had a group of parents that went with us everywhere on a college level, and I think that's crazy.
So I'm gonna have a slight pushback. I agree, but I slightly disagree. I think it's our fault.
You think it's our fault?
I think it's our fault because we, not me and you specifically, but I think that it's our generation. Because think about it, these kids nowadays are our generation. We're their parents. If you really, because I had kids late, quote unquote. That's what I'm realizing. But a lot of people our age is the ones that are either our age or maybe a little bit older are the ones who had the kids in the schools right now, right? I think it's our fault because there are things that I think that our generation of parents did that I just don't agree with. But I think that we have more of us in our age demographic who are more apt to want to be cool with our kids.
I agree with that.
Than anything. And
I still feel like we started with our parents, though.
I kind of, the reason why I agree and I disagree is because our parents still had the mindset of their parents with the idea of what you said, right? Like I don't want my child to go through what I went through, so I want to be able to provide. But if our parents were like that, then what were we? We were the extension of our parents, and your position, and even our grandparents' position. Most of them were thinking, well, our grandparents were probably like, "You being too lax on that baby." So if our grandparents were like that with our parents, then think about how our parents are with our generation. So I think it's a trickle down effect to the point to where now it didn't got so lax to the point where now, like I said, we have more of our generation trying to be friends with their kids, and there's a leniency there. And so I that's the only place I just kind of disagree with is I really think it's us. I think it's us. Let me see.
I mean, because what I'm going to say is I witnessed some of, not my parents, but my friends' parents do some of this stuff. Like, wouldn't let their child, like, do any of their own. Like, when I was going to college, my mom was like, you fill out the applications, you write the essays, you do these things because you need to know how to do them. I got a friend of mine, he got into college because his mama, she did everything for him. And so when he got to college, he struggled. And he didn't stay for a long time because she did everything for him. He's in a better place now, but he struggled because it wasn't a teaching thing. It was let me do it for you thing. And so that's what I'm saying. I saw it starting then. Because even my mama would be like, girl, you shouldn't do all that. He needs to know how to do some of this stuff. And his mama like, that's my baby. He's not going to do. And he struggled for a long time. So I'm just saying that's why I kind of saw it start. Oh, but it's definitely on a different level now.
Yeah,
these students will tell you, I'm going to call my mama. So why I care about that?
Call your mama. I hope so.
But I'm not going to talk to her. I don't talk to my mama.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. You at at university level where you like, I'm good. All right, man, let's keep it going. So let me see what happens if probably ain't gonna work. Anyway, but let's keep it going. Let me try this. All right, here we go. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Man, go ahead and smash that like daddy right now, man. Don't even wait on it. I don't know how this thing not Porsche out, but don't worry, I'm gonna bring it back. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passion Is Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcasts and networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts where you can type in Real Talk That Talk. Let me see if I can bring Poacher back in here after I ask the second question. The second question is there a right and wrong time to deliver criticism? Is there a right and wrong time to deliver criticism? I told you I had that question coming up. All right, go ahead, Poacher. While I make these adjustments.
I do think so. Yeah, I think so. I had a terrible habit after I left the section. And there was some stuff going on that I didn't appreciate or I didn't think was right. Kind of dragging those girls when I saw them. Well, where would I see them? At games, leaving out of battles. And I would kind of go in on them. And that wasn't the right time or the place. So first of all, in that situation, they're not receiving it anyway. So I guess the point would be, what's the goal? If your goal is just to, and I didn't think about it at the time. I wanted them to know y'all need to be doing better. But at the time, they weren't listening. They were worried about being embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? At the time, they were trying to get back to the band room or do whatever they were doing. Like, they weren't receiving the information. So it definitely would have been more effective to try to have a conversation or go to the people in charge of them. You know, but it just kind of, if your goal is true assistance, offering constructive criticism, wanting them to improve and get better, there's definitely a right and a wrong time, and it needs to be in a proper setting. And you got to understand that depending on the situation or your role to these people, they may or may not receive it. You know, but as far as, I do think there's a right time and place if you want it to be received and even considered. Now, if you just hackling or just want to start something, then, you know, it ain't no right time. But it depends on your goal, in my opinion.
So first thing I want to say is, I during your explanation, I've had time to listen to the echo, so I can't hear the echo on the playback. I can't hear it in here. But hey, we're gonna fix it in some type of way. Just bear with me. But no, and then the other thing is, I want to agree with you. Portia would definitely do it at the wrong time. I remember back when I was done marching and I was working with the band, and I would hear Portia out in the audience. I could hear Portia. If we doing a battle and I'm on the floor, everybody could pinpoint Portia, because Portia was not gonna hold back at all. She said what she needed to say when she needed to say it. But I guess because you're absolutely right? Like a random, I say random, but an older person going up to, you know, your section, me as a Dizzy-act, just randomly running up on y'all need to do this, man. Y'all do this in the midst of them performing is never a good time, right? Like, ever a good time. So no, I agree with you on that. But I think it's really interesting, like now, because in this particular space now, it's almost like you can't ever say anything, right? If you offer criticism, if you offer critique and or criticism, in whatever way you want to look at it, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into that later. But if you offer critique or criticism in a situation where, let's say, you know, you're talking to a band director or something to that nature, right? And you know, you're saying, hey, you know, you could do this better. Nowadays, it's like, man, you don't know what you're talking about, dog. You just hating. Stop hating. I don't want to hear that. You see what I'm saying? Like, and my thing is, well, if I'm coming to you in confidence and I'm offering the critique and the criticism, and you have an issue, and then I'm coming, or if I'm coming to you, quote unquote, online, like most people like to do now, and I'm offering the critique and the criticism, well, when is the right time? No, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I think that some of that is the result of social media. I think it's just led to people being out of touch with reality. There's no dislike button on Instagram. People just like stuff, and it makes you think that anything the opposite of encouragement is hating. And to me, that's not the case. Because if you're offering constructive criticism to somebody, off to the side or in confidence or one-on-one saying, hey, I think this will help your program. Why would I think that that's hate? Like somebody said, hey, maybe you should try this with the silks. I don't. This is not everybody cup of tea. I don't consider that hate. You just like what you like, and you don't what you don't. But I don't consider that hate. So I think a lot of people now, and I still feel like COVID made it worse, are just not in touch with reality. And don't think that I should be a constant learner, and that I can, even if I don't just agree completely with what the person said, I should at least analyze it if they're coming from a good place and see if there's any benefit to me or whatever area I'm related to or connected to, that this could help. But people don't think about stuff like that.
Yeah, and one of the things that I've noticed too is it's almost like I won't take a criticism or a critique from anybody that I don't quote unquote trust too. Like if I don't know you, I'm not going to listen to you. But I think in my personal opinion, if the information that is offered is valid, if there's some validity to it, and it comes from a place of love, then why isn't it accepted just because you don't know me? For instance, and I can let's use it like this as an example. Not everybody knows who Jerry Junkin is. But if Jerry Junkin is at a random jamboree one day, he probably wouldn't be, but I'm just saying, using this as an example. If Jerry Junkin is at a random jamboree and he hears a band program and he walks up to the director and says, hey, I hear some good things coming from your kids, but I you should probably try doing X, Y, and Z. Because they don't know you and they don't trust you, it's going to be like, man, white man, get out of my face. And I think that's a problem. You don't know who you walking up on or who's having this conversation with you. In a lot of cases, who's trying to just help you be better. But because you're so I guess enthralled with, I don't know if it's emotion or ego, but either one of them, because you're so caught up in that, you're not willing to take criticism from one of the best in the game. And it almost goes very similar to what Justin has said on multiple occasions. When he talks about Rick and when he talks about, me, I got to put my credentials on the table in order for me to be able to offer advice, critique, and or criticism. So my advice wasn't valid prior to me dropping all of my information. How does that make sense? My advice is the same advice either way. So once again, when is the right time? Is there ever a right time? Or are you just so caught up in how you feel and your feelings that you're not going to accept it either way? And here go Justin. It's the only way people will listen. I just think that's an issue. I think that's a major issue. And personally, I just think that we got to do better, in my personal opinion. It's me. I didn't mean to bring him back up on there. You on mute. No. Try again. Nope, you're muted. I'm looking right on here. It just says mute. You got the X in there. What'd you do? You hit a button. See, she done messed up the church's money. Because on my end, it says you're muted, but right here I can mute you and unmute you, but you have an X on your audio thing. I don't know what button you didn't hit. No. Everything was going good except for your echo. Now all of a sudden you just, oh my gosh, what did you hit? Let me get to Malik's question while you try to figure it out. Did I recently see this play out in real life? Yeah, multiple times, to the point to where, and I think I was having this conversation with somebody on the Book of Faces, and I told them I've gotten to the point to where I just don't even offer critique and criticism anymore, because I've seen how people react to how others receive critique and how others receive criticism. And so I've gotten to the point. No, I can't hear you still. You still got the X up there. I don't know why the X. Do you see the X on yours? Yeah, I don't know why. I haven't touched anything. Once you stopped talking, I just started talking, and that's where it was. And there it is. There you go. Talk.
Can you hear me?
Yes. There you go. What'd you do?
Now the echo's back.
Oh, you can hear your echo now? Oh, you look real sad about it too. What did you do?
I don't know.
We gonna figure it out, Portia. We just gonna keep going. Just keep going.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. I can hear you. Now I can't hear you.
Oh, I had muted myself.
Oh, okay. Oh, but so yeah, I had gotten to the point to where I just stopped offering advice unless you personally come to me and say, "Hey, Luke, what do you think?" Because I just find it very interesting that there are people out there who are listening to your programs or are listening to certain things. And it's funny to me, and it kind of goes back to the thing with, and Justin, I haven't forgot about it. I ain't forgot about it yet. I'm still going to do it. I just ain't did it yet. But it's funny to me how people will go and watch a video of someone critiquing their program and listen to that, but won't take heed to people who actually have some knowledge and are personally coming to them and saying, "Hey, this is the issue." So I think that it's just really interesting. So yeah, like I said before, when is the right time? When is the right time? When is the wrong time? Is there a right or wrong time? And I appreciate every single one of you guys who are still trying to figure out this echoing thing. Appreciate y'all, because I love y'all, man. I really do. And do you have more than one monitor with a microphone on it? Yeah. So I don't know. What did you just turn off a light? You had a light on. Anyway, that's so random. All right, so let's get to the.
My monitor.
Oh, all right. Let's get to the next question. All right, I bet you as soon as I do this, Portia gonna pop out. Let me see. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. I knew it. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Man, y'all go ahead and smash that like daddy right now. Don't even wait on it. Just go ahead and smash it right now. Even if you got the echo right now from Portia, we ain't even gonna be upset about this. This is just a one-time situation. It's a one-time deal. It ain't gonna be forever. But go ahead and smash that like daddy anyway. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passionaires Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcast networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you can type in Real Talk that talk. You guys are coming through with some really, really good things on the chat. So, and I definitely agree. A lot of people are offended right off the bat about unsolicited advice. But sometimes, I'm gonna be honest, there are a lot of times when unsolicited advice sometimes can be your best advice. And that's only because of the fact that sometimes people are hearing it in the moment, and they may not have a avenue to be able to get to you. But if I'm listening to you in the moment and I have something valuable to add to you or to add to your program, coming to you, and I think that has something to do with the age and the time that we live in too. People are just not personable anymore. I think that within itself is an issue. Being personable, just, hey man, how's it going? Hey, what's up, man? Look, man, I just wanted to let you know you got some good things going on. There are some things that I do here, man, and just want to let you know. Like, what's wrong with that? That's having a personable conversation. I'm sorry that everybody can't talk through text. That just ain't how it is, bro. I mean, just having those kind of conversations, there's nothing wrong with that. All right, let me go ahead and get to the next question. And once again, bear with me. All right. As you see, I'm adjusting every single question on the fly. So once it comes down on the bottom on the ticker, then I can adjust it just like that. All right, here we go. So here's question number 3. I already said that. My bad. People only want to hear from people they're cool with. I already said that. So we already passed that. All right, so we can go to so we on the last question here. Dang, we got through this pretty quick. So this was the main question I wanted to ask. What is the difference between a criticism and a critique? What is the difference between a criticism and a critique? It's going by pretty fast. I'm going to slow it down in a minute. But go ahead, Portia.
To me, criticism is offering, I don't want to say, calling out something that, I'm going to say it this way, calling out something that can be improved upon or that you think is a deficit without offering a solution. Most of the time, to me, criticisms aren't necessarily to help improve the group or to see growth. But to me, a critique, normally, I appreciate critiques that also have a suggestion or solution tied to it. Something that I can use to grow or to improve. Now, all criticism is not bad. To me, I look forward to getting criticism. Now you want to make me want to Google it. Hold on. Pause.
I didn't. So now you're gonna go up look at in Webster's version.
That's my opinion. To me, criticism is just stating something that you think is wrong. You're not offering solutions. You're not offering necessarily this information to help. You just feel like this thing should be better, could be better. That's my opinion. I don't know if that's wrong or right, but that's how I think about it.
All right, well, go ahead and look up Webster's dictionary's definition, and then we'll talk about your opinion and how it lines up with what Webster says. And my thing is, when it comes to the two, criticism versus the critique, right? Like, I'm not going to give, I guess, my opinion on what either is, and the reason why I'm not is because, and this is just me, the reason why I'm not is because I think that either way, I think either way nobody cares. Depending on the person, whether it's a critique or not, or criticism or critique or criticism, nobody cares either way. Some people, you can critique them, you can offer valid information. You can say, hey, I hear that your trumpets are a little bit flat on this particular situation. Here's how you solve that. And some people will still be like, I don't know you. I don't hear that. So whatever. And then you can go to them and be like, hey, man, they sound like trash. And they'll say the same thing. So, and once again, going back to what I said, if people are online, they'll listen to those people quicker than they'll listen to somebody who's right in front of you. But, still, what's the difference? Did you figure it out yet? All right, go ahead. Give it to us.
So criticism is the expression of disapproval of someone or something based on perceived faults or mistakes. That's criticism. A critique is a detailed analysis or assessment of something, especially a literary, philosophical, or political theory, to evaluate in a detailed and analytical way. So, yeah. That's the difference.
That's the difference. Quan slid in here a little bit. He's in the dark. It's all good. We ain't holding him back for that. But okay. So that's the difference between a criticism and a critique. Congratulations. Which one are you taking?
Honestly, I'm very analytical. Mm-hmm. So I'm probably, even the criticism, unless you're talking real crazy or real reckless, I skip those. But if somebody has something to say, I'll analyze it like, is there some merit to this? Or is something about me or this situation that's just not gonna go well with this person or their comments or whatever? And I'll brush it off as to me, the situation, whoever, whatever, it's just not their cup of tea, or we're not going to see eye to eye. And I don't worry about those. But if you give me a critique, and it's, I'm going to try to grow and learn from it. I want to constantly learn, constantly grow, constantly improve. So if I can pull a gem from any thing, unless it's reckless, I will try. Now that's the new 2023 version of me. But yeah. I'm gonna try to, if I can get a gem from something, even a diamond in the rough, I'm gonna try.
All right. Quan, I see you in there. I think you're outside. But what's up, brother? You good? And he popped back out.
See, I'll play devil's advocate because I'm telling you right now, I am going to consider, like, if it's somebody who how am I going to say this?
I don't know. I don't know where you're trying to go.
Mediocre or sorry that I know that history of you. I'm gonna be like, that's interesting coming from you, but okay.
But see, here's it. So let me put it. I get what you. I get you. I get you. Here's the thing. You have, to some degree, you got a valid point. Because I'm trying not to be that guy, right? Because I'm always gonna be that guy who's like, I would play that. But what if it's somebody? Because to be fair, because coming from the point that you're talking about, I have a couple of people in my section that march with me right now that thinking about when we marched together, knowing what their strengths and capabilities were. So accepting critique from them would be a head scratcher. But here's the flip side. The flip side of that is I also know that they have been continuously playing since then. And so there's a level of experience that they've gotten over time to where it's kind of like, I could take it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think I get what you're saying though.
It's situational. But like I told y'all before, there's no next level of what I did in band.
Right.
For real. So, you know, what we got is what we got. So I'm not saying I'm gonna completely dismiss it, but the thing that popped in my head gonna kind of be like, before I try to get the diamond or gem out of the rough.
Got you. I got you. Yeah, I you know, and I don't disagree with what you're saying at all. Like I said, I they there, you know, they do exist. But you know, why is it, and I guess it goes to that same question that or that same thought process that we've talked about before. Why is it that we are quicker to digest the criticism than the critique?
Say that again.
Why is it that we are quicker to digest the criticism than the critique?
Probably because of one of them is presented in a more hostile way. The other thing is that Quan said because we're elected. That's true too. We're gonna most of the time we're gonna try to defend. That's people's nature. If we feel like we're being criticized, we'll try to analyze it, defend it. So we kind of look for those things. I know some people that look for those things, especially online, like comments and stuff. Like they'll be like, "Did you see?" Or people will screenshot and send me stuff. I'll be like, "I got that same post and I ain't see none of that." So it's all of what people are looking for, and a lot of times people want to fight back or defend themselves against criticism. Whereas I just like that's your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you an example. As I've said multiple times before, you know, the fact that, you know, I do audio and visual with my church. And one of the things that, you know, my pastor was talking about, he had a meeting with the choir before, and, you know, I just happened to be in the room. One of the things that he was mentioning is the fact that we are quick to pull out the negative comments and dismiss the 15 million positive comments that we typically get. I think in this particular situation, I don't know. If we're talking about being criticized, then yeah, that does happen, right? Like the last year that I was in Dallas, and you can actually go, you know, you can go look it up. The last year that I was in Dallas Independent School District, this was literally post-COVID. Me and my frat brother Lemanuel, we were both working at rival high schools, and you know we were both going through some of the same woes and the same issues, you know, within both of our schools. And so one of the things that ended up happening was we had a virtual battle of the bands, you know, as a kind of the end of the year kind of thing. We made it through our COVID year. See, I put Quan in there again. He just popped out. But so when we put the video up, when we posted the video up, you know, I got a lot of, you know, comments from, you know, some people in the community, some people through the school. Hey man, I saw the joint, man, you know, proud of y'all look good. And for me, it was just kind of like, you know, appreciate it, you know, but then I seen one comment that was just like, man, that school don't even look like it used to be, man. We used to have a whole bunch, all these people, and now y'all only got these people, and you don't even do the same thing. And I'm just up there looking like, man, shut up, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's that one thing is the one thing that stood out to me the most. outside of all of the other things that I was able to, get to or receive during that time. Now, the other part about that was I did also receive a critique from my good friend or my chapter brother, Jared Davis. Jared, he was looking at the video and he was like, "Hey, bro, I mean, you got some good stuff going on, but I'm looking at the snare drummers, man. They ain't using a lot of that left hand, a lot of right hand, so you might want to work with." I was like, "Yeah, okay, appreciate it." You know what I'm saying? So it's just those kind of things, man. Like, so I think we pick out and those criticisms, and they're a lot more prominent sometimes, and that's the thing that sticks with us. Let's see if we can get Quan in here. Talk, man.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, cool. Hey, everybody.
He got an echo too.
Oh, Lord.
He got an echo too? Smits. So it's the interview thing. All right, go ahead and talk, and I'll figure it out.
What's the question? I'm gonna answer one question, and I'm gonna tip out.
What's the difference between a criticism and a critique?
Okay, a critique is when you see the positive and negative in it, and whatever you're stating is for the benefit of that group or some one person. A criticize is just bashing without knowing the situation or circumstance, and then that person cannot take anything from what you're saying and then make it better, and then make whatever your statement or suggestion applicable to make it better. For example, like today, I sent you something, you was like, "Say, bro, you might want to this, and this arrangement that's gonna make it better." That's critique. I can take that and make it better. You didn't criticize it like, "Man, it's just trash, throw it away." But the problem is we're selective on our criticism, and then as Portia stated, most people don't even know how to approach people in a positive way. Everybody's doing it with a malicious intent because they tweet it, because they know I can say this across the field, across these internet ways, and you never gonna see. But back in the day, to give a person a real critique, you have to be face to face. So I think that's different, bro.
So, and I I do want to be very fair. When you did send that arrangement to me, I did tell you it was trash. But that was yesterday, though, not today. but in fairness, hey, it is what it is. I'll just mess with you. But no, I agree. I mean, and it's pretty similar to what Portia said, right? Like it really goes in line with what Portia said. I just think I'm looking at the comments because I'm trying to assess these echoes. I think I see what's going on, but what the program is telling me is that I would have to kick you guys out in order to get it right. We're gonna get it right, y'all. We're gonna get it right. All right. Just bear with us. All right. First time. You know when when your first time you ain't get it right the first time. Anyway, but yeah, so I just think that, and it kind of goes in line with what you were just saying. Like, you knew me, so me giving you the criticism mattered because of the fact that some criticisms come from other people. People don't take it as well as other situations, which for me I think still is an issue. And that's just my personal opinion. I get criticized or critiqued all the time. Just because of the fact that, what I do on the job every Sunday is scrutinized every Sunday. It happens live. It happens right there in the moment. So I'm getting critiqued and criticized. So at some points, the critiques for me end up meshing with the criticism. I don't want to hear none of it. I just be like, hey, shut up. But I can't, I ain't gonna say that to parishioners. But yeah, so no, I get it. I think it's difficult to be able to decipher sometimes the difference between a critique and a criticism, because they can all be, put into one big melting pot. So, that's just my personal opinion on that. Portia, is he still there? Or is it just black screen?
I haven't been able to see anybody but you. I couldn't see the question or none of that. So I don't know. I never saw Quan.
You can't see Quan at all? So you can't see him walking through the store right now?
I don't see Portia.
Wow, this is different. Okay. All right, we still working on it. First time. All right. Remember, you weren't perfect on your first time. Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you just fine.
So here's the thing. I just wanted to comment real quick about what you said though. Some of the comments that they stated that you do on every Sunday, is it for the benefit of you and that ministry? Like that suggestion is going to benefit the health ministry.
Some of them no. Some of them are just out of sheer personal preference.
So guess what? That's a critique. I mean, that's a criticism because it doesn't benefit the organization. It doesn't. That's when you make a beef. Just like, for example, if a person was like, "You don't sound like Southern," I'm just using that as a reference. If you don't sound like Southern, guess what? That's a preference. But my organization and my band right now, how can I make them better? Well, they ain't blowing that for me. Okay, explain that. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you want me to correct something, tell me how to correct it. Tell me the exercise. Tell me, whatever. But if you're just saying, blow that hole, that's still stupid. That's all I'm saying.
And he turned his camera back off because he was shopping at Walmart. No, I don't disagree with what you're saying to some degree. Because I think the other half of that is, and once again, this is just my opinion. I think the other half of that is sometimes we can't decipher whether it's for the good of the group or not. I think some people who are, so case in point, going back to the band thing, if somebody's band doesn't sound good and I come up and I tell them blah, 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 this is how you fix it and critiquing, that director may feel like that is a criticism instead of a critique. Because it's my band. I know what my kids sound like. You see what I'm saying? Unless it's a situation where you're calling in a clinician. Because then you are purposefully inviting the critique. But when you are getting the critique, and I think Malik said it earlier, unsolicited, you feel like it is a criticism and an attack, even though the critique is for the betterment of the program as a whole. And not for the selfish gain of, let's say, myself or anybody who is, I guess trying to prove themselves to be blah, 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 blah. If that makes sense.
Question. Have you ever went to UIL and they stated something that you wholeheartedly disagree with?
No.
You've always agreed with everything they said at UIL?
From a director standpoint, yes.
Okay. So from that point of view, now was critiquing, right? But
correct.
Also, I think that's an aspect of biasness because to get to that level to be an adjudicator, they had to already have the results as well. So we look at it from a different point of view. But if it's Joe Blow that marched 1 year and Coondup University, it's like, really? So I think it's a sense of bias when it comes to that. All I'm saying, you can tell if it's for the benefit of the it's benefiting not only you, and it's not biased, but it's benefiting the organization. I think that's what it goes back to.
I feel you. I don't want to be that guy, but I'm gonna have to be that guy very, very quick. Because of the echo that we were receiving between Posha and Quan, I'm not gonna do callers tonight. And I've seen a couple. I saw Chuck come in. Dr. Wooten, how you doing? Dr. Wooten trying to come in. Look, this is the one time that Dr. Wooten was like, hey, I'm trying to call in. This is the one day that this all goes wrong. Dr. Wooten, I see you. Do not lose that fire to call in. We'll get it straight for next week. But for this particular show, because we're having the issue with the echo, I don't want to keep bringing people in and we still have all of the issues of the echo. So Dr. Wooten, just hold on. Just, hey, I see you. So yeah, but that's I want to go ahead and put that out there. But no, I agree. I think that a lot of this conversation and things like that, I think a lot of it really just goes back to what I was talking about on how we started the conversation, which is the temperament and the emotional status of the person that is, either being critiqued or criticized. I think that some people are more welcome and inviting to certain things, pending the information, regardless of who it comes from. But I think there's another sector of people who is just like, I don't want to hear it unless I know you. But I think that could be good or bad, pending the situation. Case in point, and I'll close with this, is, I sound like I'm on, anyway, but I'll close with this by saying there's this thing that's going around with Simone Biles, and her wedding. And I think it's just atrocious. We're not gonna go dive deep into that because Portia, I can see it on your face.
Leave that girl alone. She rich and y'all broke, and y'all worried about how much she paid for a dress.
Absolutely, unsolicited criticism, right? But when I was looking at people, matter of fact, I had a high school friend of mine who was commenting, and one of the things that she said was, we should not be airing our dirty laundry. That should have been behind closed doors. What I said was, it don't even make sense for it to be behind closed doors, even if you talking from the girl code, because she was fine, because she decided that she wanted to spend, whatever amount of dollars, and she ain't want to use no edge control or whatever. She looked great, and she married her husband. And sometimes, and this is what I'm talking about, and this is what it goes back to, sometimes just because we know the people don't mean that the advice that they're giving is a critique. Sometimes it's criticism, but because we know them and we supposedly cool with them, we take it for face value, and it can be completely against who you are as a person and what you stand for. So I think that we got to be very, very mindful of the information that we give. And going back to what Quan said, is it for the betterment of the group? Truly the betterment of the group, not to scratch your ego, not to make you feel good. Is it for the betterment of the group? And I think that's what matters most. Go ahead, Quan. I'm sorry, my brother, my fault, brother.
No, you're good. But I do want to add this though. Every critique, the ones that as an adult or as a human being that you choose to select, test it. I'm gonna tell you why. So I went to real quick. I went to a church service, and the pastor said something that was very profound. He said, "Isn't it amazing that in this life, everything that stands true to whatever it says that it's supposed to be must be tested, but we don't want to test it ourselves." His example was, when you sit in a chair, you don't question the chair, you trust the chair. Because for this chair to be in this church or this chair to be sold, the chair had to go through specific tests to be tested. It had went through so many tests to be, so much pressure per square inch, certain type of fire, cool, whatever, to be tested. My thing is this: test it. And if it has no benefit, like not only the theory that person is speaking about, because that's when you become a doctor, when you can prove a theory or prove something. That I think we should start testing and looking at the people that are saying. If the people that are saying are flawed people and just Joe Blow whatever and has no product of what it is, take it as face value, but leave it at that. But that also goes on the flip side. I may have some advice, but you and I have had conversations. I may not have that product as of yet, but test the sound advice that I'm giving to see if it's actually true. I think if we start operating like that from that mature aspect in mindset, I think we'll be better. But I always remember what Chris said. Our whatever grade we have is tested once the performance happens. So every week, on Friday or Saturday, if it's an F, the F will be on the field publicly. So that's the field that we honestly work and operate in. So we have to honestly, to a degree, develop tougher skin, because regardless, it's going to be a preference. It's going to be a sense of bias, and it's going to be something that somebody don't like. But look at what's the good. Look at how you can get better. The people that be like, hey, I like this, but you might want to tweak this, like you say your champion brother did. That's what you take. And I don't believe that you only should take critiques or criticism from people that you know, because then they become closed off. Because if that's the case, I would only operate from a PV mindset. But I've been learning from you and other people from Norfolk and other areas, so that's just how I look at it.
All right. And with that being said, we're going to get ready to go ahead and close this out. Dr. Wood, I am not going to talk about the wedding reception, the dressing, etc., and stayed married for 2.5 minutes. No, we are not doing that. We are not causing that havoc tonight. Now, we may do it next week. Speaking of next week, man, there's a lot of things that we have coming up the pipeline, man. There was a great meeting that took place today. I haven't fully even told Portia and Quan about it. But we working on some things behind closed doors, so stay tuned for that, man. Before we get out of here, you already know how we do, man. Portia, let me do Quan first, because Quan, I don't know where he gonna end up next. He's just in Walmart. He gonna probably make a run at CVS or something, or go stop and get a chicken box. Quan, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture? Spence. He must be muted. He must have did the same thing you did, Portia.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I want to say my condolences to if it has to say the Whitehaven High School band, as well as the Tennessee State University Aristocratic band for losing one of their own. I know that feeling. I'm praying for the kids. Y'all, I know, it's all, fun and games and critiquing and fussing and jarring, but these are real people's lives. And this is a man that's been in the education field that's impacted lives in a positive manner. Pray for him, pray for his family. I pray for his students, I pray for his extended students, and I pray for that Whitehaven family, because they've lost not only him, but another brother as well, I believe, today. So, we pray in Jesus' name that the death angel stays that day. That's it.
Amen. Portia, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
Try to find nuggets and gems in even the criticisms, if you can. The goal, especially, if you want to continue to grow and be successful, is to continue to learn. And just because you don't know who that person is doesn't mean that they can't teach you something. So just continue to try to learn and grow.
Okay. All right. And I do want to say this. Like I said, there's some things that we got coming up. I'll text y'all and we gonna talk about it. I'll text y'all after we get up off of here. Also, man, hey, we had a couple of technical difficulties tonight. Not a lot, a couple, just some echoing situations. Had to set up a couple of screens, trying to get used to it. Hey, remember, bear with us. It ain't gonna be like this next week. Remember, just remember, your first time wasn't perfect. You had to learn how to work through that thing and, build up and understand, where you fit and, what your groove is, So, you had to turn the camera back on. I'm just saying. But yeah, so just bear with us, work with us, man. I'm sorry we could not get to the calls, Dr. Wooten. You just learned how to turn the phone on tonight. So we good. We moving up the ladder. So it's all good, man. Just continue to stick with us, man. I'm telling you, we got some great things coming up. We got some interviews coming up that I want to, make sure that we knock out too, man. And like I said, we'll talk about that offline. But anyway, man, all I'm gonna tell y'all, man, is just take advice from people who are credible, one, but also who are in the best interest of you, the best interest of your program. Don't be so closed off to everything, man. I'm telling you. You will open yourself up to a whole new avenue of information when you learn how to accept stuff from other people and outside sources. That is how we become more eclectic with our programs. Every program doesn't have to look like the program that you came from. Just because you marched at Jackson don't mean that your high school program has to look like Jackson. It don't have to sound like Jackson. Just because you marched at PV don't mean that your program got to sound like PV. Just because you marched from Norfolk doesn't mean that your program has to sound like Norfolk. Take some information from everybody. Those little gems and nuggets make you better and make you a more well-rounded music educator. With that, I have nothing else, man. This has been a super dope, super great show outside of the echoes, but we're going to get that solved next week. Remember, your first time wasn't perfect. All right. Other than that, man, don't turn the screen back on. Other than that, man, I ain't got nothing else for you. Let me figure out how this thing works. I'm still working on this thing here. What, Quan? What you got? All right. Anyway, I'm still working on this thing here. Let me figure out where this thing is. Where my button at? I'm still learning it. Work with me. Here we go. Let me try it. Let me see if this works. Anyway, we will see you all next week. I ain't found the button yet. Where's the button? I had it up here. Where's the button? Portia, where's the button? Oh, is this it? There we go. We working on it. See y'all next week.